These things are not our enemy. Now, just give that a moment to sink in. These things are not our enemy. Because a lot of times that's what we do. We focus upon things that's happened, or, as I said earlier in the week, we blame it on somebody or somebodies and don't consider what we're truly involved in. And oftentimes it is spiritual warfare. Now, yesterday on the broadcast, I made the statement that things that happen in our lives are often of God's design. He's allowed these things to happen in our lives to mature us. And, of course, if you think about Job, you remember God said, "Have you considered my servant Job?" And, of course, that tremendous trial and testing that he went through, it matured him. And that's a part of God's design. But the thing is that we often want to narrow it down to this thing or these people. When the apostle brings it out to us, he said, look, we're involved in spiritual warfare. He said, there are principalities and powers and rulers and darkness and high places. Whenever I read that, it just causes my mind to begin to comprehend what's going on in the realms around me that I can't see with my spiritual eyes at this point. I can't see it with my natural eyes. But there are things happening. There are activities in the spiritual realm. And he describes them as the powers, rulers of darkness in the world, spiritual wickedness in high places. And he said, look, you have to be aware of this and prepared. Make sure you're properly attired for battle. And the wonderful, wonderful description here, the way he brings this out, he relates this. He says, put on the loins of truth and the breastplate of righteousness, and make sure your feet are shod with the preparation of peace. Put on the shield of faith and the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit. And I tell you what, that is just absolutely brilliant writing, because it's so descriptive and it helps us so well to be able to see these things in our mind, to comprehend that there's a spiritual battle going on and we have to fight it and we have to be prepared to fight it. And all of these things require activity. I mean, the activity that says the sword of the Spirit and shield of faith. These things, they all talk about activity, things that we need to be doing. And that's certainly is in our own prayer life, being a warrior in prayer, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the Word of God. And that tells me, I said, we need to be students of the Word. Students of the Word. And then the ability to proclaim His Word. This is Pastor Jack King with the Gospel on the radio broadcast.